Right now, your brain contains a lifetime of experiences. So why can you remember only a tiny fraction of them? Think about a random day 3 years ago. What did you eat, hear, and think from morning to night? Most people can't answer those questions. And that's where the mystery begins. Your brain experienced every second of that day. But almost all of it has vanished. If memory is so important for survival, why does the brain throw so much of it away?
The answer surprised scientists. And it may surprise you too. Forgetting is not a flaw in the system. It is part of the system.
Without forgetting, your mind would become overwhelmed. Every moment would compete for attention.
In fact, some people have experienced exactly that. And their stories are extraordinary. To understand memory, we first need to understand forgetting. And that journey begins in 1885. In 1885, a young German psychologist asked a simple question. How quickly does the human mind forget? The problem was that nobody had ever measured memory scientifically. They only guessed how it worked. Ebbinghaus wanted evidence, not assumptions. So he made an unusual decision. He would become his own experiment. For years, he memorized thousands of meaningless syllables, words designed to have no emotional meaning. He wanted to remove emotions, stories, and personal experiences, so only memory itself remained. Then he began measuring what happened over time, and the results were shocking. Most forgetting happened almost immediately, not months later, but within days.
The brain wasn't losing information by accident. It was actively filtering reality.
And that discovery changed psychology forever. But it also created a new mystery. In the 21st century, scientists discovered something remarkable. A small number of people almost never forget.
They can recall ordinary days from years ago with astonishing accuracy.
Researchers call this condition highly superior autobiographical memory.
At first, it sounded like a superpower, the perfect memory everyone dreams about. But the reality was more complicated, and often far more difficult. Most people can leave painful memories behind. These individuals often cannot. Embarrassing moments remain vivid. Even decades after they occurred, grief can remain powerful for much longer. Because the memories never lose detail.
Scientists began realizing something unexpected. Forgetting might actually protect us.
And that raises an even deeper question. If forgetting protects us, what exactly is the brain protecting us from? Every second, your brain receives millions of pieces of information. Yet only a tiny fraction ever reaches conscious awareness.
Your eyes alone collect far more visual data than your conscious mind could ever process. Every sound, smell, texture, and movement competes for attention. But most of it is filtered away.
If the brain stored everything equally, decision-making would become almost impossible.
Imagine remembering every advertisement you've ever seen, and every stranger you've ever passed.
The brain solves this problem through selective memory. It keeps what seems useful and discards the rest. But usefulness doesn't always mean accuracy. And that's where things become strange. Scientists eventually discovered that memory isn't designed to preserve reality. It's designed to help predict the future.
Your brain constantly asks one question. What information might help me tomorrow? And that explains why some memories survive for decades, while others disappear within hours.
Think about your first day at school. You probably remember more than an ordinary Tuesday.
The difference isn't time, it's emotion.
Emotional experiences activate powerful systems inside the brain. Systems designed to help us survive. One of those systems involves a structure called the amygdala, a small region with a huge influence.
When something feels important, exciting, or dangerous, the amygdala tells the brain to pay attention.
In other words, emotion acts like a highlighter. It marks moments that might matter later. This is why many people remember exactly where they were during major life-changing events.
Scientists call these flashbulb memories, moments that seem frozen in time.
But even these memories are not perfect recordings. They can still change over time.
And that discovery led scientists to a surprising conclusion. Memory is far more flexible than anyone imagined.
You have lived every second of your life since birth. So why can't you remember most of the beginning?
Your first smile happened. Your first steps happened.
Yet for most people, those moments are completely inaccessible, as if they never existed at all. Scientists call this phenomenon childhood amnesia, and nearly every human experiences it.
For decades, researchers struggled to explain it. The answer turned out to be surprisingly complex.
At first, scientists believed babies simply couldn't form memories. But modern research revealed something different.
Babies learn constantly from the world around them. They recognize faces, voices, and patterns.
So memory formation wasn't the real problem. The problem was long-term storage.
The key may lie inside a structure called the hippocampus, a region essential for forming lasting memories.
And during the earliest years of life, that system is still developing, which means the story is only beginning. Imagine building a library while millions of new books arrive every day. That was the challenge facing your infant brain.
During infancy, the hippocampus is still organizing itself. It hasn't fully learned how to preserve experiences for decades.
Researchers discovered that infant brains create enormous numbers of new neurons, far more rapidly than adult brains. That growth helps children learn incredibly fast. But it may also disrupt older memories.
In other words, the brain may sacrifice old memories to make room for rapid development.
But scientists still aren't completely certain. And the mystery remains partly unsolved.
Some researchers suspect those early memories aren't destroyed. They may simply become inaccessible.
Like books hidden inside a library without a catalog. The information exists, but finding it becomes impossible.
If that's true, your earliest experiences may still influence you, even if you can no longer remember them. And that leads to an even stranger discovery. Sometimes the brain remembers things that never happened.
At the time, most people treated memory like a video recording, something stored permanently and played back later.
But Loftus suspected something very different. She believed memories could be altered after they formed.
To test the idea, researchers showed volunteers footage of a car accident. Then they asked a simple question.
The question sounded almost identical for everyone. But one word was changed. Some participants heard the word hit. Others heard the word smashed.
The results shocked researchers. A single word changed what people remembered.
Some participants even remembered broken glass. Glass that was never actually there.
The brain wasn't replaying reality, it was rebuilding reality.
And if a memory can be changed, could an entirely false memory be created?
In the 1990s, researchers designed a bold experiment. They wanted to see if a false childhood memory could be created.
Participants received several stories from their childhood. Most of those stories were completely true. But hidden among the real memories was one fake story. A memory that never actually happened.
The story claimed they had become lost in a shopping mall. As a young child.
The event never occurred. It was completely fabricated by researchers.
Then something extraordinary happened. Many participants began remembering it.
They described the stores they supposedly saw, and the emotions they supposedly felt.
Some participants became genuinely convinced that the event had happened.
The memory felt real, because the brain had constructed it from believable pieces, and that discovery revealed a disturbing truth. Confidence and accuracy are not the same thing.
For decades, scientists believed memories were stored like files. Open the file, and the memory returns unchanged.
But modern neuroscience uncovered something unexpected. Every act of remembering changes the memory itself. When a memory is recalled, it becomes temporarily unstable, almost like reopening a document for editing.
Scientists call this process reconsolidation, and it transformed our understanding of memory.
Each time you revisit the past, new information can enter, and old details can quietly disappear.
This means your memory of an event today may not match your memory of it 10 years ago.
Your current beliefs can influence old memories, even without you realizing it. Your emotions can influence them too, changing how the past feels in the present.
In a sense, memory is less like a recording, and more like a story constantly being rewritten. And that leads to a profound question. If memory changes, does your identity change too?
Some memories store facts. Others store personal experiences.
Tulving called these personal memories episodic memories. The stories that make your life feel like your own.
Without episodic memory, something remarkable happens. The sense of a personal timeline begins to break down. You might know who you are, but struggle to mentally travel through your past. This revealed an extraordinary truth. Memory helps create the feeling of a continuous self. Yet there is a paradox at the heart of memory. The self feels stable, even while memories keep changing. Your beliefs evolve. Your memories evolve with them. And despite all those changes, your brain maintains a coherent story. A story called you. But if memory builds the story of who you are, then forgetting may be just as important as remembering.
Have you ever noticed that childhood seemed to last forever?
Yeah.
While adult years seem to disappear in an instant?
The clock hasn't changed, but your memory system has.
As adults, many days begin to resemble each other, and fewer unique memories are created. When you look back later, the brain compresses those similar experiences, and entire years can feel surprisingly short. In a way, time is measured twice, once by clocks and once by memory. And memory does not preserve every detail. It preserves what feels meaningful.
That may be the deepest lesson memory teaches us. The brain values meaning more than accuracy.
Perhaps forgetting is not the opposite of remembering. Perhaps it is part of remembering. Because without forgetting most of your life, you might never recognize what truly mattered.